Diddy's an example, an extreme example of what happens when we do not call a thing a thing. Think about the moments of intervention that would have changed his trajectory, right? I know there were people that went to him and said, yo, like, you need to relax. So then it made me think, like, who are people in my life that I'm tiptoeing around?
Mm.
Who am I protecting at the expense of my peace, actually? Who
And their
needs to,
well-being.
who do we need to call them out on their shit, even if it is uncomfortable?
Holiday period is very complicated for a lot of
Mhm.
people. And so I would just say make your holiday your own holiday. If it's a time of regeneration, if it's a time of strategic planning, if it's a time of reflection, if it's a time of quietness and solitude,
Yeah.
you do not have to live up to anybody else's expectation of what this period of time needs to be. Enjoy it for what it is, and do you, boo.
Do
Do
you,
you.
boo? That's it. That's all that matters. My rant this week is I don't think we're bereaving properly. I think we're doing
Mm.
it wrong. Whatever, wherever you are working and the companies are giving you this bereavement leave, it's bullshit. It's not enough time. Okay?
Right,
It's not enough
right.
time. It's not even
Mm,
close. It's not even close.
mm.
Thankfully, I work at a company where I was given all the time that I needed, but I think the standard is 3 to 5 paid days, and that is ridiculous.
She's like, I'm just so upset because this was really my dream job. I was like, really? I was like, well, is this your dream life? Like, you really want to take your badge and beep your way up an elevator and sit in this controlled environment all day? Like, this is your dream life? She looked at me like I had grown 3 heads, and she was like, and she was like, she didn't say anything for like a little while, right? A year
Yeah.
later, she moved to Bali.
Oh.
Hello, hello. We are back.
Hello. We're
And
back.
welcome to another episode of We Are Out of Office. We're so grateful
We
for
are
you.
out of office.
We need
Welcome,
a theme
y'all.
song. We need a theme song.
We do.
Welcome.
We do need a theme song.
Eventually that will come. Along with a photo shoot. We need our glam shots. People need to see us
Yeah, we need to
living.
update all of our key art and all that jazz. We'll get there, y'all.
We'll get there.
2026.
Right now, this is,
We'll
I mean,
get there.
it started as an audio podcast with video, and now we're moving more towards video. Obviously, I'm in a new location. If you're not checking us out on YouTube, you're missing all the exciting visuals. I don't do my hair for nothing, y'all. Check us out on
And there's
YouTube.
also a little bit of a winter wonderland behind you. Did it snow
Girl,
where
it's
you are?
snowing right now. It snowed all
Oh,
morning.
it's so pretty.
I'm glad you can see it. It's like Michigan is a different place. I'm like, especially trying to walk this dog in the snow. My dog is like, why would you do such a thing? Why would you do this to
He's
me?
like,
I am a California
he's like,
dog.
what is this?
I
Yeah,
know.
like,
What is this?
what is this white stuff on the
What is
ground?
this? Yes, what is this?
This ain't the snow that I'm used to.
Yes, he's like, I don't. What is this? I'm like, okay, well,
Oh, he has an accent now?
he has an accent. You didn't know Mocha has an accent?
Hilarious.
He's a doggy accent.
I
What's
didn't know
this?
that.
Mocha's very
Oh, what?
sophisticated. He's very, very continental.
I love it. I love it. Where's Mocha right now?
He's on the floor right here by me.
Oh,
He'll
okay.
chime in
Good.
as
He's behaving.
necessary. Yeah, he'll chime in
I'm
as
sure he
necessary.
will. We have a lot to talk about this week.
We got a lot to cover.
A lot.
So let's turn the autoresponder on. We are officially out of office. This is the time to sit back, relax, take a break. Hour of power. And what's your out
Amen.
of office?
Meghan Markle is still that girl, and I miss my mommy.
I love that.
That's just my life these days. 1 foot in grief and 1 foot in shenanigans and pop culture and, balance.
Isn't it that you said in balance, girl?
It's just balance, You cry a little and then you watch the Diddy doc, and then you cry a little and you watch Meghan Markle's holiday episode. So
she's a holiday special. Is it a new episode?
Yes,
Or was it
girl. Oh,
Oh, I didn't know.
yes. You gotta watch it.
Oh, I
Yes,
didn't
and
know.
Harry
Of
makes an
course.
appearance. She makes gumbo with Tom Colicchio, and she has some girlfriends come over. I mean, she's just continuing to live her best life. So that was
Somebody is.
it was
It's
great. It was great to watch that hour of just I'm gonna watch it again.
pure
It
joy.
was
You know what?
great. I
That's what
loved
it's
it.
for. Escapism at its very best. For yes, for those
Exactly.
that holiday season, I feel like is such a give or take, for people. I know that it's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. I wrote a book called The Most
Hmm.
Wonderful Time, which was kind of a tongue-in-cheek title because it's
Yes.
that mix of ups and downs and highs and lows. And I think for people who are trying to find that golden rail of the best time, and you feel like there's so much pressure to make this happy and wonderful, and it's not always that way. There's a lot of grief during the holidays, and I think it goes under recognized. So you're definitely not alone. I know it's seemingly a lot of people leave us during the holiday time, and I have
Yeah.
memories of that peppered in with memories of the holidays and the decorations and the gift giving, and sometimes one is wins over the other. It's not always the happiest, but people are
It's a balance.
you
It's a
make the most of
balance.
it and make the best out of it. So if
Exactly.
yeah, for anybody listening who is balancing the holidays, which I am one of those people, I count myself in one of the people who are balancing the holidays. I'm like, okay, how many more days until the new year? So
It's
my out
okay. We'll
of
get there. We'll get through it.
we
We'll
will
get
get
through
there.
it.
My out of office is I am currently out of office looking at these $200 televisions, wondering why they're only $200. I mean, why are the televisions so cheap, y'all? You know what I mean? Like it's meant to be a TV in every home, and then why? Does anybody ask that question?
Because
We should be looking at these
they want
holiday
you to buy
sales.
it.
Are they spying on
No, no,
us?
no. Well, no, that part. Well, actually, there was a clip of a guy who was like, the CIA can access anything, anywhere, at any time. And then the
Girl,
response
did
was
that
black people, duh. But
I
anyways,
mean,
no, the
does that
video,
make you wanna
the
unplug the
TV,
TV?
no, because I have nothing to hide. I'm literally crying and watching Meghan Markle. So if y'all want to tap into my camera, go ahead and do it.
Girl.
Y'all not gonna
Well,
see
what's your
nothing.
theory? What's your theory about the $200 televisions?
I think they want you to buy these $200 televisions so that you buy a new one every year. Because those 200
Oh,
televisions are not going to last more than 2 years. So they
I
want you to
see.
just keep buying them over and over and over again. That's
Just
why
like
they're
an
so cheap.
iPhone. Just like an iPhone. But
Yes.
iPhone's more
Yes.
expensive. Could your
Yeah.
television become your primary communication device? No, but that's okay. Anyway, so so
I
yes,
mean,
until I have
maybe.
the
I don't know.
answer to this question, I may be out of office for the week. Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh my
So
gosh. I
so
love
who
it.
is your ICU girl?
Well, my ICU girl this week is actually ICU Admiral.
Okay.
It's a dude. His name is Alvin Halsey. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, sir. He's a former head of the U.S. Southern Command, 37-year Navy veteran, and was one of the highest-ranking Black officers in service. He retired in October, but the Wall Street Journal revealed that maybe his retirement was actually a forced one.
Oh.
According to their reporting, Halsey was pushed to retire because he raised some serious concerns about a new wave of aggressive boat strikes in the Caribbean. As you guys
Mm.
know, recently, one of the operations got a lot of attention. He felt that the orders were out of bounds, and so instead of staying quiet, he was like, I'm just going to leave quietly and peacefully. I don't know if this actually happened or not, but there was a meeting in the Pentagon in October where his boss, who we will not name because to me he's a boogeyman, his boss said it's either you do it without any questions or you can leave. And he's like, I'm gonna go. And now the current head of Southcom is facing some intense scrutiny after some attacks in the Caribbean that sound a little like our way Ims cray. So we salute you, Admiral Alvin Halsey, and we appreciate you taking a stand. And I just love seeing people not backing down. And so, it's really, I mean, people have been doing it for a while, but obviously in the times that we're in right now, it's really just great to see people just n- not take shit. Whether you're retiring like Alvin Halsey, Admiral Alvin Halsey, or you are the young lady who drove 3 hours to confront a racist who left a comment on your TikTok post and making him apologize
Oh, really?
on camera, off camera. Look, that's not my ministry. I'm not doing that. I'm not driving 3 hours to confront a racist, but I do see people not taking any more shit. People have time, y'all.
People have time.
People have
You know
time.
what? People have time. I definitely think that this is the era, and we'll talk more about this later, where you do have to make some decisions and understand that even if you're not ready to give something up or experience change, things are radically changing. So it's better on your own terms than having to confront it in a different way where it's more forced on you, or it's a more difficult decision. So I do think this is the era of developing flexibility and starting to think about what who you really actually are, aside from all these
Hmm.
definitions that are imposed upon us, like your job, your title. All of those things are subject to change. And so we're all tasked with, especially like heading into the new year, which I think is a lot of time for of introspection for people anyway. Who are you?
Hmm.
Like, who fundamentally, who are you? What do you stand for? What are these,
That's
what's
right.
most important to you? And then, these other definitions who are somebody else's definitions, what does that really mean? And ultimately making choices. So
Yeah, do it for yourself because you do not want people to do it for you. Because like I said,
no.
people have time. They are not shopping, okay?
Right.
They
This is just such a
Nicolandria has
year.
not been Nicolandria hasn't been posting a lot recently, so people have time. And so they are online.
Nicolandria has been kind of quiet. No, our I was looking. I saw
Yeah.
a post of Nick and Kim Kardashian, and I was like, "What's going on there?" And I was like,
Oh,
and I
no,
looked
that
to
was
see
just
if
a campaign for
Olandria was.
Skims.
I was like, "Was Olandria? Is this Olandria sanctioned?" Like, she gave me the thumbs up. I was like, "Did she like this post?"
Hilarious. Well, she was
I was
busy
like, "I can't
giving
like it
a
if
speech at
Nicoland if."
Harvard.
Well, I was like, "If Olandria doesn't like it, I can't like it." So I was looking for her thumbs up before I. Now I follow them because of you. So Nick and Olandria pop up in my post. I'm like, okay, I need a proof of life of their relationship. I need to see them
I love
together
it.
over the holidays.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're still together as far as we know. Everything's great. And Nick is at Art Basel, with hanging out with Diplo. Olandria, as I mentioned, was just at Harvard, speaking about her experiences and her recent successes. And so, without Nicolandria content, without buying and shopping, people have
What else is
time
there?
to be online and figure out who they want to be. So you could, like I said, you can either retire like Admiral, or you could drive 3 hours, or you can be the young lady that was in the comment that said that she saw someone post something racist under a CNN article, and she reached out to that person's employer via LinkedIn.
Like, do you know that your employees are racist?
I mean, it's crazy. I wouldn't do that. That's just not me. But
I
I'm
don't
just
have the
saying, like,
time. I don't have the time.
I don't have the
I
time.
Yeah, I feel like people need to know. This is my update. I'm gonna give a little update because it's gonna be a little unusual episode for me. I'm on 3
Mm.
deadlines. So we have 2 books due this month and another. So a lot of my contributions this week will be chiming in. I am officially the peanut gallery. So I will give my hot takes and opinions, but to understand This is the end of year deadline sprint for all
Mhm.
people who are waiting for new books and new content. This is where all of the sausage is made and how it all gets done. So this is the end of year sprint for manuscript deadlines and otherwise. So I'm officially in the peanut gallery for this episode. Hot takes only, and chiming in with 2 cents, maybe the penny
And then
that's
keep it
going out of
pushing.
circulation, and keep it pushing.
Right.
So now you know what to expect for this episode. I'm like, it will not be as unhinged as the alien episode, which was wild. And if you did not listen to that
Yeah.
one, I think that was
That
43.
was a great episode.
That
Yeah, that
was
was a great episode.
hilarious. I'm like, that was
Still
that was
waiting.
42
Still
and
waiting.
43. Yeah. I think I don't know, 2026 might be the year that the spaceship
I'm
lands.
still waiting. Let's go.
Girl.
Please. Let's go. Anywho, let's go
They're
in.
coming
Let's
for
get it.
some
Do you have
folks.
it? Yeah. Let's move on before we go on another tangent for that.
What's good?
Or no, what am I right now? Do
What
you
am
have
I right
anything for
now?
ICU Girl
Ye
this week? Oh,
No,
okay.
I
I
don't
know
have
what am
anything
I
for
right now?
ICU Girl this week, but I do have what I'm on right now, which has been very, very interesting. I've been doing a lot of research on intermittent fasting, and I know that you've been doing it for a
Mm.
long time. It has actually been
Mm-hmm.
working for me very successfully. And so I wanted to talk about it. And I don't know if people have comments or questions or want to bring this up in discussion. I find that people have very charged opinions about fasting still, where people think, oh, you're starving, that there's something unnatural or biologically unsound about eating less often, eating less by eating less often. So in the face of that, have still been doing an intermittent fasting schedule where I eat breakfast later. I do eat breakfast, but I eat a ketogenic breakfast. So I'll eat like eggs cooked in butter, and then
Mm-hmm.
I will have like an apple or something where it's high fiber. If it's a fruit, high fiber fruit, like not a sugary fruit, but just something like an apple
Mm-hmm.
or something. Or I'll have edamame, something with fiber to couple with the eggs, and then I go the rest of the day with coffee, mainly coffee only. And if I do have a snack, it will be macadamia nuts. If I feel like I'm starving or I really absolutely have to eat something, it'll be macadamia nuts or a square of chocolate that has 3 grams of sugar or less per serving. Dark, super extra dark
Mm.
chocolate, almost no sugar chocolate, the darkest of dark chocolates. So I have lost 20 pounds up to this point, and then replaced some weight with muscle. Yay. But it's been so manageable. And then I found that
I
my
love it.
appetite
I
is
love it.
shrinking, and then it's kind of my reframed my thoughts about why I eat during the day and when
Mm-hmm.
I eat. So a lot of times I'm not hungry. It's just emotional regulation. It's like, oh, I'm bored, or I'm
Mm.
I'm lonely, or I'm sad, or whatever it is. So it's this immediate shot of dopamine that comes from eating something that has nothing to do with hunger and is obviously not in alignment with my plans. So intermittent fasting has been so I'm trying to work up to my first 24, potentially 36-hour water fast. Um and pray for me, y'all. We'll see how that works. But
I
I
love
I
it.
see no
No,
reason
I
why
used to
not
do
to
it
do it.
all the time. I used to do it all the time. And I don't do it as much as I used to, but I used to do it all the time. And it's actually a lot easier than you think. Think if you mentally prepare yourself, drink water. You can also drink coffee, black coffee during the 36-hour
I'm like, where's my coffee?
fast.
Mhm.
Yeah, black coffee is really good for that. It was like a game changer for me because every time I did it, whenever I felt crap, oh, there you go, coffee. Whenever I felt crappy, like whether like my knee would be inflamed, my joints would be hurting, and then I'll fast for 36 hours, and then the inflammation would go away.
That makes
Like it would
sense.
just immediately go away. So it's a natural way to heal your body because after 17 hours, your body reaches a level where it's creating new cells, autophagy. Thank you. That was like,
Mhm.
what I was like asking my brain, like, "What's that word?"
Eating
Yes,
itself.
it's
Mhm.
eating the bad cells and creating new cells. So when you reach autophagy, it goes back. Some people say 12 hours, some people say 17 hours. I think it's 17 hours. So 17 hours you reach autophagy and your body's getting rid of the bad cells and then generating new ones. So
Mhm.
fasting is great. And look, you don't need to eat as much. Back in the day when we were out and about actually working, whether we're in construction, whether what you would need all that food. You don't need to eat as much. You really don't. Your
Yeah.
body can't take that much food and it needs the proper rest to digest and all that stuff. That's why you feel better when you don't eat as much. You feel lighter, you sleep better. That's what that your body's responding to all of those things because you're not having to eat as much. I also want to say we are not licensed professionals. This is purely for entertainment purposes before someone goes, "Well, you told me." No, we didn't tell you
No,
nothing.
we
This is our
didn't.
personal
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
of
I
what we
am. I
got out
said
of fasting.
yes. Nobody said you should. I'm saying I am. This is
Exactly.
what I'm on right now. So yeah, I'm on this. You don't have to be on this, but but this is what I'm doing. I mean, I think that though I've been working on a memoir about this. So this is one of my next
Mm,
book concepts, because what I realize is that a lot of the journey of this really has to do with reprogramming how I'm thinking and just confronting day by day life moments with a
mhm,
desire to change ultimately, which is kind of what we're talking about. It's like the theme of the episode almost is like about change, changing times, changing yourself, changing your outlook, changing your approach. And the reality of change is these day-to-day moments where the person that you desire to be comes into direct conflict with the life
mhm.
that you've constructed, your life of now. And so for this, for sure, fasting in particular and changing the way I eat, especially when I'm in not it's one thing to be in Los Angeles, another thing to be in Detroit, where that the culture here is very much, especially in wintertime, is very much one of eating and food. But no, we don't need to eat as much as we do or that we've been conditioned to eat. We don't need to eat 3 times a day. We don't need snacks. And one thing that I've learned is that the way that we were before modern agriculture, before we had farming and we had a ready supply of food that was in storehouses and available at, at hand, we had to spend our morning foraging for the food that we would eat and we would need to actually go hunting or to get, the food that was going to
Mhm.
sustain us for the rest of the day. Half of our day was finding enough calories to make it through the rest of the day. So
Exactly.
when we wake up now, our bodies have given us a store. They've mobilized our energy stores for that same activity. So eating a later breakfast, eating a breakfast that's not sugary, that reflects
Mhm.
the how our bodies are already oriented and maybe saves a few calories, or it's an easy approach to push back your feeding time. And so that is what I'm on right now. And I will continue to give
I love
updates, but
it.
it has been successful and I have been enjoying it.
I love this for you because what I'm on right
Thank
now is
you.
the Diddy documentary.
Oh,
It's the opposite
girl.
of healthy.
I it's a guilty pleasure though. It is something I've been watching it on the treadmill. Girl,
Have you seen it all?
I've only seen I've seen 80% of episode 1. And
S Okay, I'll try to be spoiler free. I watched all 4 hours in one
oh,
night
you
because
did?
I could not stop watching. As a
And
producer, well, I'm about to get into it. It's actually not only is it what I'm on right now, but it's also
what
part of my health
I'm
and healing,
on
so
right
buckle up.
now. Oh,
As a producer, the first thing that grabbed me was the storytelling, which honestly didn't surprise me because the director, Alex Stapleton, she's someone that I've known her work for many years. Back when I was at Spring Hill, I worked with her a little bit for the Shut Up and Dribble doc for Showtime.
mm-hmm.
And she's only gotten sharper and more intentional as a filmmaker. And I can't wait to hire her for something. in the future. Hopefully, I can afford her because yesterday's price is not today's price. Okay.
But not after
Um,
this.
Not after this, because this doc is still the number one show
Mhm.
in the country, despite Stranger Things dropping like days before.
Mm.
And what she did for the documentary was nothing short of masterful. Nothing short of masterful because it's not salacious. It's not a petty hit job
Mhm.
because 50 Cent EP'd it. So you would think that, because in interviews, he's 50. He keeps bringing up Diddy wanting him to take him shopping, and he said Diddy sent him flowers, and so it's still 50, and he's still
The
petty, and
king of petty. The king of
yeah,
petty.
the intent behind it was not pure. It was definitely he was being petty, but partnering up with Alex was the right move because that's what completely, to me, signaled, oh, he took this seriously.
Mhm.
What they delivered is a character study.
Mm.
What they delivered was it was a portrait of a man that was shaped by his environment, the pain, the trauma, and ultimately his power. It
Mhm.
goes from Mount Vernon to Harlem, Uptown Records, Bad Boy, all the things that we know of for the most part. But then there's elements that we had no idea of. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this spoiler free if you haven't seen it. Things that dots that were connected that weren't connecting before, that you're just
Mhm.
like, wow, okay, like this is wow. I don't know how they found this, right? They interviewed people you'd never seen before. They got footage of his time leading up to his arrest in New York City because he was
Yeah.
filming himself.
Talking to his lawyers and
Yes, yes. The It's wild. It's really wild when you see just everything that came about. The dichotomy is really wild. You have this man who, depending on who you ask, well, a lot of people would say this, doesn't have the traditional talent,
Mhm.
but he completely transformed hip hop.
Mhm.
Completely transformed it. He redefined the remix. He talked the way that he ran A&R. It changed the game. He changed reality TV. I mean, you have Making the Band, you have I Want to Be Diddy's Assistant, you have Rock the Vote, like, what was it, Vote or Die? Diddy Runs the City when he did the New York City. He was just he was bigger than what we thought we could ever accomplish at the time. And
Yeah, he was magnetic. Mhm.
he used that to feed into fear, control, trauma. It's just complete darkness. And that duality is heartbreaking because
Mhm.
everything that he did culturally, right? Expanding our ideas of what you could accomplish as a Black individual in this country. Because remember, when Diddy was Diddy, we didn't have many examples. We had Oprah,
Yeah, and Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
was there. I mean,
we didn't
yes,
have a lot of
you had the
public
Johnson
example. Magic
family,
Johnson, not Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, Magic, but they were part. There was this different generation. Diddy
Mm.
was like, when you saw him, you saw yourself,
Mhm.
right? He made it the dreams, the things that, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a fashion line, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It made it possible. And
Yeah.
now that's covered by this really dark shadow. And what hurts me more, and as a parent, I'm looking at his kids,
Mhm.
especially the girls. And I'm not gonna speak on children because that's not our ministry here, but I just worry about what they were raised in, and living in the middle of that. Um, but what's been even more compelling is watching the discourse online about this doc. The conversations have been fascinating. The generational takes, the accountability talks, the reevaluation of legacy, all of it. And I think, and then there's the spiritual side of it all, which I'll talk more about it in health and healing. But there's a lot there. There's a lot there. So definitely watch it. Definitely watch it. Would love to know what you think about it. And it definitely is hitting a chord because, like I said, it's the number one show on Netflix for the last couple of days, and everybody was waiting for Stranger Things to drop, and it feels like everyone was just like, "Stranger who?
I know.
Put on
Stranger
that Diddy
danger.
Doc."
Stranger danger is
Exactly, definitely Stranger Danger.
yeah. No, I certainly well, I've been watching it and have been riveted. For me, it was also it's not close to home, but it is because that was
Mhm.
really my era growing up in the music industry. And as a woman, we've talked about this. I always knew that it was a complicated place to make your career as a woman, as a Black woman. And I had boundaries and rules that I set up for myself
Mhm.
to try to give myself a sense of safety and still be able to maneuver and do my job and make progress
Right.
in relationships and within the industry. But it made me realize, wow, I was lucky. I was lucky. And it was heartbreaking to hear some of the things that I knew were happening to women, or at least suspected were
Mhm.
happening, but to know and hear for sure that it did happen and how it happened and what happened, the things that I was worried about for myself, knowing that there was cautionary tales, but to actually hear the cautionary tales and to think, wow, you were so close. I've been at parties with him, talked to him, met him multiple times,
Mm.
and the crew around him. I can say that thankfully my experience personally in those moments, which were very limited, was treated well, but my heart goes out to the women who had experiences that marked them forever. And that pain of the story in and of itself is one that is unforgettable. And it's very sad to see this other side of a cultural icon for us. It is
Mhm.
heartbreaking to hear the stories of the people whose lives were affected in a way that they're not necessarily going to get over. They haven't healed from yet, that they don't know how to. So that's been definitely impactful. And I haven't even made through the whole first episode. So
Oh,
so yeah, I think
girl.
it's a must watch. I think it's something we have to watch. I think we all have to watch it.
It
It's
is
just
it is a must
understanding.
watch. It's a must watch. It's definitely understanding how we got here culturally with him, how
Mhm.
he got here. And like I said, the health and healing segment that I'll touch on later, there's another part of it that I think, okay, we've seen this with him. Let's talk about what we need to do moving forward as a people.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about that then. But that's what I'm on right now. This Diddy Doc is just
How
incredible.
can you not
The, the
be?
Diddy the Diddy Doc and also the Meghan Markle holiday episode.
You
Just
watch one and then watch the other. Watch one, watch the
I sure did. I sure did because I had to cleanse my palate.
other. That's right. You need a palate cleanser. Um,
I needed to cleanse my palate.
I'm like, yeah,
Insane.
I don't. I'm like, is there such a thing as too happy, like too joyful? Is it
No,
right? Is it
no.
right at the edge, or is it right in the middle?
The Meghan Markle episode?
Like, is it one of those things where you need to watch it on a day that you're not in your worst mood? Because you know how sometimes when you're in a bad mood and like something could be too happy and it's like you're just not there for that. So it's like, is
Oh
it
yeah, no,
something
no,
you
no, no. This isn't that. This is definitely something where you want to escape. It's a different she just lives in a different world. Like I'm just and I love that for her. I really truly absolutely love that for her. It's just I wanna be there. I wanna be in the pajamas. I wanna be in her kitchen. I just wanna be there. You know what I mean? It's not like, "Oh, this bitch." No, it's not that at all. It's like, "Yes, Megan, how do you make your mom's gumbo? Please tell me. Yes, Megan, how do you make these holiday popper thingies that you picked up from England?" And yes, Megan, how do you make this drink. Uh, Tell me everything.
I'm riveted. Tell me. So it's like you. This is
Tell me more.
sit with your glass of champs or your glass of wine
Or wine or
and pretend like you're
and your
besties
blanket.
and pretend like you're
Yes, like
besties. Got it.
pretend you're on FaceTime with the Duchess of Sussex and she is telling you how she makes X, Y, and Z and how to make this and that and the third. I was all for it. I was all for it. So yes, please go watch
Okay.
her
I
show.
understand. I understand the context. I understand where you need to be headspace wise. I feel like that should be part of when we're giving a content recommendation or something to watch. Like, what headspace do you need to be in to be able to watch this? And for people, for this is the I think this is the middle of the road headspace. This is the you're ready for an escape. You're not in your worst mood. You're not in your best mood. You're right there
No,
in the middle, right down the middle of the road. So now we're on to minding my black business.
minding my black business. What are we minding
Black
this week?
anybody. I'm minding my own damn business, really. But but what that actually means, which I think that people should start to think about this, is particularly, I have to say this for black creators, for black professionals. The world that we live in does not revolve around us. And yet
Sure don't.
yet we have our own beat though. Yet we create the future. Yet we have our own inspiration that winds up becoming the mainstream culture. So if the world does not revolve around us, but yet the world will come to revolve around us, a certain time where you have to realize that the value is in your own direction, your own thoughts, that
Mhm.
they have inherent value. So I say I'm minding my own business. What I actually do mean is that I'm sitting and attaching a value, my own value to my own thoughts and my own ideas, decoupling that from the mainstream assessment, which I've had to do pretty much from the time that I started operating and working as a creator. I've had to do that
Mhm.
with my first book. When I approached traditional gatekeepers, they're like, this is not valuable. This is a character that we can't relate to. We don't understand it. We don't get it. And thankfully, I pushed forward again, heard that story hundreds of thousands of copies later and a whole career. Uh, they were wrong. It was wrong, and so in the times that we're facing right now, I just want whoever needs to hear this, but I think we all kind of do. I saw this in the music industry being in a time of consolidation when traditional industries that we expect are the tastemakers that we expect to tell us what to watch. They're giving us our content. They're giving us our diet of what we consume. And all of a sudden they go through this period of
Mhm.
consolidation and they find themselves very much out of touch with a large portion of the audience. The one thing I realized is that the same audience is on the other side of the gatekeepers is on one the same audience on one side of the gatekeepers is the same audience on the other side of the gatekeepers. You can just reach the audience. It's the same audience. They don't have any special sauce or any special key to any
Mhm.
special door. It's the same audience, and that audience has its desires and preferences. And when you start seeing periods of consolidation like what we're seeing, the space starts to grow between what traditional and mainstream media is producing and what the audience actually craves and desires. And sitting in that space can be you or me or anybody with who's ready and able to honor their original ideas and the way that they're thinking, the way they want to see things. Odds are, if you want to see something that's not available, many other people do also. So this to me is the time to start thinking like an entrepreneur and individual creator. It is a time of change. Things are going to change. The safety net is going to erode. It's eroding already. And the only consistency and stability you create is the stability and consistency of your own design. So this is exactly what happened in the music industry back in the early it was 2010s 2009s when social media changed, the format started changing, digital consumption of music started growing exponentially, the landscape for the independents, they finally had an avenue. Distribution, the chokehold in distribution went away. And so all these independents were able to
Mhm.
put music out directly. So what yes, the CD went away. Yes, the album changed, even though we still have vinyl, thankfully. But uh but that erosion of those formats meant that their distribution became democratized. And so that's the space that we're in
Right.
right now. People are starting studios where they're doing vertical content, where they're doing scripted and unscripted content. You know, the budget, the cost of making and producing content has drastically decreased and diminished. You have all kinds of ways to produce
That's right.
quality scripts and really embody your idea. You know, get your friends and neighbors and family to be your crew and your actors for something. You can film that. People will watch it at this point because they don't care so much about the super high production value. They care about the
That's right.
heart and spirit and core of the content. They care about
Yep.
what is embodied, the heart and spirit and soul, the idea that's embodied, the story that's embodied. So this is a time of incredible opportunity. So when I say I'm minding my business, I'm reconnecting to the story that I told myself at the very beginning of my career, which is that the value of what I have to say is specific. It has to do with the fact that it's what I want to say. It has to do with the fact of knowing who it's for. It has to do with the fact of why I'm doing it. And I think we need to get back in touch with those fundamentals for ourselves and be braced for change, be ready for change. And that is how we navigate change. That's the stability we're looking for is something that we create for ourselves. The value that we're looking for is something that we create and insist on for ourselves. So
Yep.
that's what I mean when I say I'm minding my own business
I love
in
that.
in
I
these
think,
times.
yeah, what you're touching on, the reason why you're touching on this is because before we started recording, we were talking about the recent news of Netflix buying Warner Brothers Discovery.
Mhm.
And that has put everyone in a tizzy in the industry right now. Not
Mhm.
everyone, but most of the people. A lot of people are really
Rightly so.
concerned about
Yeah.
what this M&A is going to do for the industry. Personally speaking, it's going to be it's the number one streamer buying the number three streamer. So that's concerning. And
Mhm.
then it further decreases the number of places that you can sell things to, right? So
Mhm.
moving forward, it'll be Netflix, Amazon, Disney, Apple, and in a distant fifth, Peacock.
Mhm.
So then it's now I'm thinking, is someone going to buy Peacock? And if so, who
Mm.
is it? Right? Is it going to
Mhm.
be Amazon? Is it going to be Comcast? I mean, not Comcast because Comcast is Peacock. Is it going to be Apple? Are they going to buy Peacock? You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so that further cuts down what's being made, what's being sold, what ends up on screens. And so to your point, even though it, kind of bothers a lot of us about this merger or this acquisition, I'm excited to see the creativity that will come out of this moment. Like, who is going to come up with a solution that's going to challenge what is happening in the TV industry right now? And I know it's only a matter of time. Someone's going to come up with something. And I think vertical dramas are sort of the answer to that a little bit,
Oh,
where you
yeah.
can have these
Micro
shows that are
dramas.
literally made for 200,000. Yes, micro dramas. They're also called micro dramas. There's like $200,000,
Mhm.
$250,000. They're so affordable, and yet they get a lot of eyeballs. They generate a lot of income for these companies. There's a lot of industry professionals that are coming into the micro drama game and are trying to do whatever version there is. There's so much opportunity there.
Mhm.
So I'm as much as I'm like, ooh, a little nervous. I am also kind of like, but we've seen time and time again how something good can come out of these situations.
Yeah.
Like you said, the music industry, the Harlem Renaissance came out of the actually happened during the Great Depression.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but in particular,
You
our
know,
culture, it's just a reminder because I think we sit and we wait for accolades. We want acknowledgement from institutions outside of our culture. And then we wait and hope that they see and acknowledge what we're doing as if that means something of value to our day-to-day existence. And it's like, wait a minute, let's get to the
Uh-huh.
fundamentals. Do you have a place to live? Is the heat on if it's hot, cold? Do you have a breeze if it's hot? Do you have enough food to fuel your body and your system where you can think clearly? Do you have
Uh-huh.
people who you love and that love you and that you love? Can you get from point A to point B? Just think, getting back to the fundamentals of your life, because I think the other things start to be self-definition and who people tell you you are, as opposed to who you tell you yourself you are.
Uh-huh.
And those things
Uh-huh.
are not necessary, but we become dependent on them like drugs. And then when it's pulled away or when it's threatened, we forget that that's not the foundation of our existence. That's not the foundation of our day to day. We forget all of the other options available to us. We don't even think,
That's right.
oh, you can do nine other things. I remember when I was working, it was one of my first jobs in LA. Was, I think, sometime around 2006. And our company went through a mass reduction in force and basically shutting down their LA operation. And my coworker who sat in the office 2 doors down from me, I went into her office and she was just distraught. And I was like, what are you we were all thinking, what are we going to do next? And we had severance packages, so we had some time, we had some options, and very fortunate, to be professionals and have a little bit of cushion. So it wasn't like the most dire of situations, which is also happening in this economy. So I recognize that. I went into her
Uh-huh.
office and I was like, okay, well, what are you thinking? And I was thinking, for me, that it was a time of other possibilities. I really wanted to take a few weeks and just write. And at that time I didn't even think I could be a writer, but that was what was in my heart. I wanted to just
Yeah.
spend just some quiet time with my own, using my mind and creativity at my own direction. And I was like,
Right.
okay, well, with this layoff, I'm gonna give myself a shot. That's what I'm gonna do. I was like, I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
six
yeah, yeah.
weeks. I just need 6 weeks to work on a script. I was in LA and I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I just knew that's what I was gonna do. And I went to her office. So I had excitement about that moment. Cause I don't know. It was delusional a little bit. Cause I'm like, you crazy a little bit. Cause
Well,
how are you gonna pay your
Delulu
bills?
is a Salulu.
But
Yes, yes,
Delulu is a
yes, yes.
Salulu. So yeah, but I was excited about that moment. And I went to her office and I was, and she was distraught. And I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, this is my dream job. And she's like, I'm just so upset because this was really my dream job. I was like, really? I was like, well, is this your dream life? 'Cause I was like looking at, you were in her office looking out the window at, all the nature and the sunlight. And I was like, I know the ocean's not far away. You can't be serious. Like, you really want to take your badge and beep your way up an elevator and sit in this controlled environment like, this is your dream life? Your
Right.
dream job. Yeah. Okay. But is this your, like, you're alive. Like, you have 24 hours in a day. You're a breathing, functioning,
There's more
creative
to this.
being.
Yes.
Is this
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
dream life? And she looked at me like I had grown 3 heads, and she was like, and she was like, she didn't say anything for like a little while, right? So anyway, I don't remember exactly what happened after that, but I do remember in that moment, but I do remember what
Asking the
happened a
question,
year
yeah.
later. This woman, let me tell you what she did. Let me tell you what she did. She moved to Bali.
Oh,
She was like, she took that so literally. She was like, you know what? Let me actually think about what my dream life is. Do I really want to be in LA? Nope. She was like, I'm out. She moved to Bali, set up her whole life there,
wow.
became a consultant, had this like amazing freedom and everything else. And I talked to her like after the fact of a little while later, and she was like, I started thinking about this and I was like, is this my dream life? And then I started to think about what my dream life is. And then I set about
Wow.
creating it. And she did. She did. And I'll see pictures even now. I'm just like, girl, you are really living the dream life.
Is she
Like, she
still
is
in
always,
Bali?
yes. Yes.
Wow, look
It's
at what you
unbelievable, but she
did.
travels all over
You
the
lit that
place.
fire in her. Oh, wow,
Well,
that's
it
amazing.
just came out. It was I don't know where it just came out. Sometimes it just comes out.
You just be saying stuff.
I just be saying stuff, and it
It
just
just
ca
be
I mean,
coming out.
I don't yeah, I wasn't like a thought before, it was just a genuine question, like, "Well, is this your dream life?" I'm like, "Oh." So
Incredible.
yeah, so this is a time for change, and that I think for people in the industry, I think it's gonna I saw this in the music industry, and there's so many people had to reinvent themselves that had executive jobs in the music industry this
That's
industry
right.
that thought it was gonna be but they did reinvent themselves. They did. Some of them went into film and television, some of them, switched
Yeah.
into other things, and it's just knowing the right questions to ask yourself, I think, and also being ready to change and create that own stability, and understanding that the value that, especially culturally, we are in tune with the future. We are creating the future, and we if we don't allow ourselves to be distracted and made to believe that our contributions are valueless until they're acknowledged by something outside of ourselves, if we don't subscribe to that and we start really valuing the inspiration and the natural vibe that's flowing through us at any given moment, there's so many
Mhm, mhm.
opportunities ahead, and this is a time of incredible opportunity because the people on one side of the gate, the audience that's on the other side of the gatekeepers is the exact same audience that's available all around us. So
And they're waiting. They're waiting for you to
it's
reach
time
out
to
to them and
win.
connect with them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to win. Create with
I love this.
connect
I
with
love
content.
this.
Yeah.
Well, you know who else is winning?
Who else is winning? Who be
This
winning?
Haitian-born handbag designer, Francis Pierre Laborde. That's who else is winning because
Stay
his
winning.
handcrafted bags went viral on TikTok, and with good reason because they are stunning. So picture a fortune cookie as a bag,
Oh, okay.
and then envision them in like different colors of leather,
Mhm.
calf hair, I think snakeskin. And then the fabric inside the bags look like the inside of a Venice Simplon train, if you know, you know. And they're two
Oh.
tone and tricolored, the green, they're purple, they're aubergine, they're maroon. These bags are huge. They look modern but vintage at the same time. They're very versatile. You can wear them as a shoulder bag, or you can have a long strap. The fashion girlies on TikTok have been OD on it. And like I said, with good reason. The bags are sold out. And I think the last bit of the sales happening this weekend at the Grand
Mm.
Bazaar in New York City. You have to get tickets, but tickets are sold out. So you have to get a ticket to go into the Grand Bazaar to then buy his bags. And the pricing for the bags are actually pretty reasonable. They're between $200 to $600.
Oh.
What's even more beautiful is that he's apparently an amazing soul. People have spoken to him and talked about his designs, and his customers they're just so happy to support him. So that's the
What's his
Black
name?
business I'm
Say
minding.
say his
Francis
name.
Pierre Laborde, but,
Francis
the brand is
Pierre
called
Laborde.
yes, and the brand is called Pierre Laborde,
Pierre
and just
Laborde.
go we'll include a link. These bags are stunning, just absolutely
You keep
stunning.
putting us on to our next fashion slash fabulous find. So I do trust the advice. I am ready to check it out. I think didn't you talk about the lip bar? I mean, I already knew about the lip bar, but you were my impetus to go get my red that I've been wearing all. I'm not wearing. This is a Gucci
Oh,
red
I
today.
love that.
This is Gucci red, but
Uh-huh.
I have been doing the lip bar red. I think it's Hot Mama all holiday season long. I'm about to
I
the
love it.
holiday these are the Thanksgiving holiday nails. This is like the appetizer. I'm going for the holiday nails right before
Same.
Christmas, so we'll have to compare notes.
Yes.
This is
Yes,
also because of you
I have
too,
the
because
design.
I never used to get I used to have no nails, but
Yeah, that's
now
right. Look at me being an influencer. I
look
love
at you
that.
influencing, right? Right? You it be your own people.
I love it. But yeah, I'll never steer you wrong. I'm gonna tell you where to go. The
No,
bags, the nails. At least I hope not. I hope
I have been
the
so
things that I put
happy.
y'all onto are pleasing to y'all. But yeah, I cannot wait to get me a Pierre bag, whenever that is, because these bags are they're just gorgeous. I mean,
I can't wait to check
gorgeous.
this out. Every nothing you've never led me astray. Never led
I
me
love it.
astray, girl.
Let's keep the streak going then.
Is Jesus taking the wheel in this episode? I feel like there have been so many things.
Yeah, there've been a lot. There was a lot. But I've decided I'm still wrapped up in losing my mom. And my rant this week is I don't think we're bereaving properly. I think we're
Mm.
doing it wrong. Whatever Wherever you are working and the companies are giving you this bereavement leave, it's bullshit. It's not enough time. Okay?
Right,
It's not enough
right.
time. It's not even
Mm,
close. It's not even close.
mm.
Thankfully, I work at a company where I was given all the time that I needed, but I think the standard is 3 to 5 paid days, and that is ridiculous. Okay? You need 3 to 5 days to even process what the hell just happened.
Right,
Okay?
right.
I spent a week in and out of the ICU, and then I took another week afterward, and it barely felt like enough. It
Mhm.
felt appropriate. Minimum a week, minimum. Meanwhile, like I said, the standard is 3 to 5 days, and I don't know about y'all, but I don't have a funeral home on speed dial, and then boop, 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 "Hey, y'all, we got a fresh one coming in. Let me get the deluxe special." Like, I don't know. I don't have
Don't
that.
learn how to do that. Right.
My cat agrees. Anyway, I don't know how to do that. And then you're supposed to notify people, and then you have to decide whether you're going to call them or text them or let social media do the announcement for you. 3 to 5 days is insulting, especially for the person that brought you into this world. It is insulting. And
Mhm.
if you are one of those people that only have 3 to 5 days paid leave, I am so sorry, because I it is minimum 2 weeks. It has to be minimum 2 weeks. I don't understand how people expect people to process the death, make the arrangements, notify everyone, find shit, pack things up in 3 to 5 paid days.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine going back to work if I really only had 3 to 5 paid days. Because like, there are afternoons where it was always at 2 o'clock for some reason, where I would just bawl. So, like, and
Mhm.
there's no room to go bawl. Like, it's not like I'm nursing, like, and I
Right.
get to go to the nursing room and nurse. So I would be in the bathroom crying. I'd
You
be in the
know,
bathroom crying. Like,
that's
it doesn't
p
make sense.
we don't actually talk about grief and bereavement at all. 'Cause I just as you're talking about this, I was thinking about this, like, we do talk about paid leave for maternity, but, I mean, there's realities of life, right? Like, maternity care is a reality of life. It's grossly,
Mhm.
uh, under-researched, underfunded, under-discussed, under-resourced, all of those things. And also death and bereavement. It's I think we don't wanna talk about it because we wanna act like it's not a part of life. Like, we spend all of our life
Mhm.
basically distracting ourselves from the fact that this is part of life. So, I have actually never thought about in any job I've taken, negotiating or even thinking about bereavement leave. I've never thought about that. I've never thought about, "Oh, that really needs to be something that comes up as a discussion." And then
And it
when you
needs to. It
yeah.
absolutely needs to. It
Mhm.
absolutely needs to. Because this time at home, talking to my sister, talking to my husband, talking to my mom and my ancestors, and praying and meditating and making all these arrangements, having to read the reviews, pick a casket, plan her homegoing. Like, that requires time and space. That requires a
Mhm.
breath. And if I ever ran for office, which I won't, but if I ever ran for office, like, I would introduce legislation to give people bereavement time, like at least
Yeah.
2 weeks, or maybe a
And you
month
would
for a
and you
parent,
would
or
resonate
6
with a
weeks
bunch of
even,
people. Mhm. That
we
would
spend
resonate with a bunch of
spend
people.
m we spend months planning. My cat's doing a lot of things back here. We spend months planning for a wedding, cake
Mhm.
tastings, bachelorette trips. Why can't we do that to honor our dead with the same
Right.
intention?
Right. Right.
right?
And and
So, like,
and and
that's my
grieve,
Jesus
honor
take the wheel.
ourselves. Well, I think it's a really good one. I think it's a good point. It's a good rant, and it's a good point to make
Yes.
because we don't even beyond the logistics. Because I think the logistics take time and all the things that need to be done. But to just think about the impact of loss on a human psyche and having gone through that this summer, dealing with a sudden loss and all the things associated with it, and
Mhm.
what it does, it causes a trauma, and like what it does to you requires healing and some kind of processing. I mean, I think it's in part why my manuscript, it's like you can't address the thing yourself to the things that need to be done. And I'm like, I need an extension. And my to my editor, I'm like, I was doing back in August. I'm like, I have too many things going on. I cannot focus
Mhm.
on this. I cannot do this. And so that's just a reality of the process of loss. Like it's one of the things, like there's births, there's marriages, there's divorces, there's
Mhm.
there's moving, there's all kinds of things that are realities of life, and
Mhm.
we don't think about, especially going into an employment position, we don't necessarily think about what we should negotiate or how we need to accommodate things that we don't like to, especially the things that we don't like to recognize happen and exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's an
Like,
important topic. It's
I
uncomfortable
think
but important.
you create that boundary of mourning. I told my bosses and what time I needed. I didn't ask
Mhm.
because losing someone who birthed me, I she deserves more than a long weekend. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not doing that. So y'all do what y'all need to do. But I think culturally we need to really talk about how we mourn, and we cannot. 3 to 5 days is ridiculous. 3 to 5 paid business days is ridiculous. So
Ridiculous.
that's my Jesus take the wheel this week.
Which leads into health and healing,
Girl,
as it
yes.
always does.
As it always does. So what I was saying, remember I was saying earlier, this Diddy documentary?
Mhm.
Okay. So look, there's a lot to take in. And outside of being disturbed by the details and learning things about Sean's upbringing and behavior that I did not know, there was something else that really resonated or sat with me or affected me spiritually. There were multiple moments where I thought this was Black excellence. This was Black luxury. This guy
Mhm.
symbolized all of that. And now looking back, when you're looking at this series, you're like, oh, wow, a lot of people really scared of this guy.
Mhm.
Like people really turned a blind eye because of what he represented. He was
Mhm.
proof that you could become a billionaire without being the best singer, the best writer, the best rapper. He had charisma. He had the ability to connect with people. He was operating at a level of success that so many of us wanted to do. And he did that. But this is the harm. Diddy's an example, an extreme example of what happens when we do not call a thing a thing.
Mm. Say more.
We have we've been in an era where we're all of a sudden holding celebrities accountable. Yes, that matters. But we should also be calling out the harmful behaviors of our public figures. How many people in Diddy's life stayed silent? How many people excused his behavior because he was going through something? How many people didn't want to rock the boat, who didn't want to ruin a good time, who didn't want to lose access? I think about the moments of intervention that would have changed his trajectory, right? And I know he had it. I know there were people that went to him and said, "Yo, like, you need to relax."
Mhm.
So then it made me think, like, who are people in my life that I'm tiptoeing around?
Mm.
Who am I protecting at the expense of my peace, actually? Who
And their
needs to
well-being.
who do and there were who do we need to call them out on their shit even if it is uncomfortable? Because sometimes we avoid the truth because we don't want to hurt people's feelings and we know they're struggling and we're scared of the falling out. But silence does not correct anything. Silence doesn't save anybody. And if we say we're building community, if we say we care about the healing, about the accountability, about being together, then part of that job, part of that love is speaking the truth, calling a thing, setting people straight, putting them back on the path of correction, redemption, and salvation. It's
Mm.
not just comfort, it's we can't be celebrating the wins without figuring out how do we help each other prevent losses. So
Yeah.
it's if there's someone in your life that you've been avoid telling the truth because you're worried about X, Y, and Z, just put that aside because that's not what we need right now. Because right now is what we need to really call a thing, and we need to what? Heal. And we
Yeah.
can't do that if we're so worried about being comfortable. We can't do that if we're so worried about people's feelings. Because I can't help but to think if people weren't so scared of him and people were very focused on saving him, maybe the story would have ended differently for him. Maybe he would
Mhm.
be at a different place right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you could tell that there's a little bit of him that wanted to do the change because he remember he was calling himself love. I think yes, I do think it's a little bit of a manipulation, but I do think there is a very small part of him that realized like I really need to save myself and I'm really messing up and I'm really in a dark place. So I'm going to tell myself I'm loved to help myself from come out of the darkness that I was in.
Yeah.
So
I've
anyway, so
heard
that's my health and healing this week.
that people who have been around him say that there's a lot of darkness, and I in environments in the music industry and otherwise where I think there's a lot of power, there's always a lot of, darkness also. I've heard people say that why do does it have to be necessarily black entertainers that are always the ones held accountable? And meanwhile, you've got much worse in terms of perpetrators who aren't black, who are
Mhm.
just allowed to continue to do whatever, including, and in all the places that they are. And at one point I was like, yeah, that's not not that it's a strange thing to say, because on the one hand you're like, yeah, they shouldn't be held accountable. I mean, or everybody should be held accountable, or nobody should. So we should just, but it's like, no. The one thing about black culture that's been beautiful in certain ways, a gift and a curse in ways, we've always held ourselves or had to be adhere to a higher standard, which has
Mhm.
allowed for the incredible growth and development of culture and other things that we've done in a legacy kind of way as a culture and as a people. So on the one hand, for him, even though he's been a cultural icon, the fact that he is being held accountable in such a major way, and the fact that there is such an incredible reckoning,
Mhm.
provided that it doesn't destroy him, it brings another level of honesty and opportunity to who he becomes for the future. I think he's such an incredible force
That's
for
right.
good. And maybe it's so much power that he's had access to. So much wealth, so much influence that one person might not be able to hold that person accountable. It has to be this big public spectacle where everybody has to
Mhm.
come together and hold him accountable and say, on the one hand, this is wrong and we don't accept this from you and you're going to have to face the consequences of it. And on the other hand, we know within you is greatness. You call other men king, but you got to walk as one. if that's
Okay.
who you're going to be. And it doesn't mean, and even when we think about biblical stories, none of the great stories from the Bible were straight lines to excellence. It was, people, David was in the well, what I mean, for years. So it's just like there's greatness that can still come from this man. And I think we are in a period of accountability and reckoning, and I hope that means that because he's worth it. I hope that means that we're having this period of accountability for him because what's on the inside of him, there's still greatness that has yet to be birthed, and he has to have a rebirth to really become who he really is, because there's so much power
Truly.
in who he is. There's so much good, and there's just so much greatness, that energy that we need to learn, that we need to have, that we need to harness that. So I hope that this journey, this public reckoning, this public accountability takes us somewhere. And I will say, I guess maybe this is the part of, maybe the theme of this episode is about changing, and that space of like personal accountability and being ready for the reckoning. Your own personal reckoning is like, sometimes it's that
Yeah.
thing that you have to say to yourself, like, is this the person that you wanted to be? It's not.
Is this
I
the
mean,
person you want to
sometimes,
be? Call a thing a thing.
yeah,
Set people
call it
straight. Like it.
right.
That's
Is
what
this
this
your
is about.
dream
He's an
life?
is this your dream life? Like he's an
Mm-hmm.
extreme example of it, yes, but there's no reason for us to not take this as an opportunity to also hold the mirror on ourselves and the people around us. Like,
Mm-hmm.
are there people like him in your life? Maybe not like him, but who are doing some fuck shit that you
Yeah.
need to call out.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Call a thing a thing, and to do that.
Because we
And
don't want them to have to go to jail and to learn the lesson. You know what I mean?
right.
Like that's we don't want that. But if we're building community as we say that we are, right?
Part
Especially in
of
the time that we're
community.
in right now,
Mm.
we need to call a thing a thing. We need to celebrate each other's wins, yes. But as I mentioned, we need to help each other prevent losses.
Mhm.
And we're losing a lot.
Mhm. Mhm. And accountability is part of community. I mean, that's just what it is. And I don't know that
That's just what it is.
we don't have a perfect system for it, but it's so necessary. And I have regrets about friends that I didn't confront. I mean, in particular, one friend who was in a cult. I mean, she was in a cult. And it was like, and I was like, I did not call the
Oh
thing a
wow.
thing, and I should have. And I think because sometimes you feel like what you say is, if it's not going to have an impact, it's just not worth saying. And I would just, it, somebody needs to hear this in this way, but I would just still say the thing. I think I've learned that in
Just still
retrospect.
say it.
And
Yep.
I had another friend. I don't know why I said this to her. It was one day, and I said to her, um, "You are just so sad." And you are, and it bothers me that you are such a beautiful person and have so much to offer, but yet you are the saddest person I know. And it just breaks my heart every time I see you, that you are this sad. And I'm just asking you to go talk to somebody, because you just should not be this sad. And I had some wine. I had some wine. And I was like, I instantly regretted it. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just say? But it
Right.
just came out. I was like, you need to go talk to somebody. You're too
Wow.
sad. And again, it just came out. I had some wine. We were, and I was like, next thing I know, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you saying? But and I regretted, I was thinking about it for weeks. I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't have said that. I'm like, I hope she's not mad at me. She's never gonna speak to me again. I was like, oh, oh, oh. So I saw her weeks later, and we were all, it was a group of friends, we were all together. She pulled me aside. And I was like, oh, she's gonna curse me out. She'd be like, well, how dare you? But she was like, I want to say something to you. She's like, thank you for what you said to me. She's like, I went to go see a therapist, and I started talking.
Mm.
I started sessions in that. And she's like, and I was like, you did? I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, I was sitting here thinking for
But see,
weeks, I shouldn't have
you see
said
what
that.
happened?
And
see, now you saying something put your friend on the course to heal. And this is what happens. You say something, you call a thing, and people heal. And if we do that collectively, culturally, yes, but also personally within our lives, we are going to do a lot of work in healing ourselves and our community so that we can be prepared for after the shenanigans that are happening right now. We need warriors to be strong and ready and able to sign up for whatever they need to do to keep this society country going. Because right
Yeah,
now we're in a weird place, right?
we're in a weird
And
place.
all the things are falling down. All of our idols, all the celebrity cult, all the things are falling down. Are happening for a reason because we are the sauce. We are who we are. It's in us, right? And
Mm,
so for us to then be prepared for that next era of whatever that era is where we are who we need to do the work. And part of that work is calling people out. So if
yeah.
there's someone in your life that you've been avoiding telling the truth to, you need to step up to them and tell them what it is so that they can what? Heal.
Yeah.
Okay?
Now,
We
and
can
I
all be the Inyala Van Zants in our lives,
not on my watch.
not on our watch. So,
Although I will say that it can come with a cost. I mean, people have to be ready for that. It's like I think we've gotten used to thinking that it should be a costless sacrifice, like a
mhm,
sacrifice with no cost to it. And that's just not the reality of things. Like we have to be willing to step away from something that is not for us to be in alignment with who we are. If that means speaking your
mhm,
truth, means that you gave that person the gift of honesty. And if they're not in a place to receive that honesty from you, what was your relationship anyway? And I'm saying that
period.
I've lost friendships from that where giving honesty did destroy their friendship. I mean,
Mhm,
everything there, everything's not a bed of roses in the sunny story that I just told. I mean, I have other examples where I was honest with someone and it did destroy their friendship. And then I had to sit and realize, you know what, if I can't be honest with this person at this level and they can't receive that level of honesty and they turn into a different person, or it's somebody that relationship can't continue, do I really want to be on eggshells with
that's
for
right.
this
What's the
person?
point? No.
Is this relationship ever worth is any relationship worth eggshells? It's not.
No, it's
S-
not. It's
So
not.
so
So
it may be you may be having to do some spring cleaning early in relationships, or that's the era that we're in, and being prepared for that is like, is any relationship really worth being in eggshells?
and that's
So
okay. Less baggage. Shit. We going to
I mean,
2026.
living
So
on we traveling light, girl.
traveling real light. Okay. The weight that we lose is not just only on ourselves. Okay.
Right?
So
Listen, but
okay.
we dropping anything unwanted. We just shedding it all. Look out! I'm apologizing in advance for spring and summer, y'all, because what I
Prepare to
do,
be sick of us.
prepare
Okay.
to be sick of it. Yes. What
Bye.
what happens? What's about to happen? Anyway, so
Anyway.
so do we have a what's good?
I do. I have a really short what's good this week. I want to highlight something that was incredibly beautiful that I saw on social thanks to the nonprofit organization God Behind Bars. They
Yes.
hosted the first ever father and daughter dance at arguably the most dangerous prison in the country, the Angola prison. You had 30 dads who dressed up in tuxedos, who reconnected with their daughters, did dance moves, had a wonderful dinner, took pictures, pink carpet, flowers, decorations. They converted the chapel into a ballroom. It was just a beautiful thing to watch. These daughters who haven't seen their dads in years, just seeing the love and family and just the joy in the moments that they captured was just really beautiful to watch. It's the full documentary is on YouTube. I definitely encourage you all to watch it. But that gave me a really nice feeling watching the joy from everyone involved. Shout out to God Behind Bars. And you can definitely donate to them.
Oh,
So please
good.
do
Yes,
that.
we'll drop that
But
link.
yeah, they had a father daughter.
That's so beautiful. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. Very beautiful. Well,
That's mine
my
was good. Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Mine was good. I did a book club this weekend, the Griot Book Club in Detroit, and it's been so great to connect with readers when I can. I've been doing virtual book clubs, but I have attended quite a few book clubs in Detroit. There's a lot of book clubs, and it was the we were talking about the most wonderful time. And I'm telling you, these ladies, they read that book. They knew those characters. They knew they had
Love it.
more recollection than I did of some of the things that happened in that book. So it was so wonderful to talk to you. And just shout out to Source Booksellers for coming and serving as a bookseller on a Saturday afternoon. Uh, Allison came and sold books, and it was just incredible to be part of the community and to see the passion and excitement around reading and literature and books. And so that was how I spent my weekend. So that was what was good. What's good?
I love
Book clubs.
that.
Yes, yes. If you have an idea for a book club, y'all, this is your sign. Start the book club. Just it is so worth it. I don't care what book you read, but just bringing people together. I mean, look at a bottle of wine doesn't hurt, but
Listen.
bringing people together to talk about something, a book puts you all in the same place at the same time. So it's like you just are able to talk about something from the same place of reference that's outside of your
Yeah.
everyday lives. So it just is a wonderful way to bring people together. And if you have an idea for a book club, this is your sign. Start the book club, sis. That's what's good.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to doing more of in 2026, reading books, joining a book club, escaping
Yes.
into these books and being able to think in a different way. I think like a nonfiction book club is something that I would want to be a part of because I really want to read more about spirituality and gifts and,
We should
those kinds of elements and bits and bobs.
a
We
fiction book
should.
club.
You
I'm a
know what?
nonfiction
Why
girly.
not?
I'm a nonfiction girl. I'm serious. I'm a nonfiction girly. Like that was how the reason why my books are written the way they're written is because I was always a nonfiction girly. I was never like big on fiction. So the fiction I write
Uh-huh.
is really from a nonfiction girly perspective. So but I all of my fiction books are informed
I
by
see
like a
that. I see that
stack
actually.
of nonfiction books. I'm like, I could talk to you about that's what people are like, what are you reading? I'm like, not fiction. It's nonfiction. I'm always reading. So we should start a nonfiction book club. I'm with it.
We really should figure out what the first one is. Something like
Mm,
from Dolores Cannon or something like that. So I'll figure it
okay.
out and
All
I'll
right.
let y'all know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can do something on
Well, what's
Zoom if
your
people wanna we can meet with people face to face.
That's right. We
Yeah, we
should.
can do
That's
something on
okay. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Um, well, we reached the end of our episode, and I got food calling my name. So I don't have a final word because I just don't this week. But do you have one?
I will just say for people who this holiday period is very complicated for a lot of
Mhm.
people, and so I would just say make your holiday your own holiday. This period, what it needs to be for you. Don't it doesn't have to be, even though I wrote a book called The Most Wonderful Time, it actually doesn't have to be the most wonderful time. It can just be the time that it is. It can be what it is for you. If it's a time of regeneration, if it's a time of strategic planning, if it's a time of reflection, if it's a time of quietness and solitude,
Yeah.
you do not have to live up to anybody else's expectation of what this period of time needs to be. Enjoy it for what it is and do you, boo.
Do
Do
you,
you.
boo. That's it. That's all that matters.
That's my final word for this
Yeah,
episode.
that's a good one. Yeah, because what are we on? December 7th? Yes, it's about
Girl.
18 days till Christmas. 12 days till I shut down. So we only have a few more episodes this year and until we take a hiatus and enjoy the break,
The holidays.
the holidays. But until then, you guys have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.